August 26, 2024 Daily Bread. Galatians chapter 4, verse 1 through 7. Key verse 7. No longer a slave, but God's child. What I am saying is that as long as an heir is under age, he is no different from a slave, although he owns the whole estate. The heir is subject to guardians and trustees until the time set by his father. So also when we were under age, we were in slavery under the elemental spiritual forces of the world. But when the set time had fully come, God sent his Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those under the law, that we might receive adoption to sonship. Because you are his sons, God sent the Spirit of his Son into our hearts, the Spirit who calls out, Abba, Father. So you are no longer a slave, but God's child. And since you are his child, God has made you also an heir. Daily Bread Message. An heir who is not of age does not receive his or her inheritance until an appointed time. Before then, one is no different than a slave, being kept under the rules and regulation of one's guardians and trustees. In the same way, like slaves, we were once subject to the laws and principles of this world. But when the set time had come, God redeemed us from the law so that we receive the rights of sons and daughters as our inheritance. We must know our identity as sons and daughters of God. Under the law, we used to live in fear. Fear causes separation, and we must strive constantly to please our master. But God redeemed us so that we would no longer live as slaves, but live in sonship. Jesus also lived and knew his identity as the Son of God. By his Spirit, we can now cry out, Abba, Father, to the living God. Prayer. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for breaking the curse and making me your beloved child. Forgive me for living in fear and allow me to receive the inheritance of being your child. One word. We are children of God and heirs of his kingdom.